Hello and good morning, evening, or afternoon, depending on when you are watching this, the latest episode of Susty Talk. If you're not aware, Edie's Susty Talk is our series of video interviews designed to keep us all feeling connected and keep the conversation going in lockdown. And the original tagline was lockdown and beyond, and now we're sort of back to a second lockdown here in the UK. So lockdown and beyond, and then lockdown and beyond again, I guess. And I'm really delighted to have Rebecca Lovelady from Danone on the call with me today. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for taking the time.
Hi, Sarah. Lovely to be here. Thanks for having me.
No, any time. And I think this might be the first time we've had you on. And I understand that your job title is Social Impact and Sustainability Manager. But could you provide us a bit of an overview of what that means and what your role and remit is?
Yeah, of course. So, I'm in our sustainability and social innovation team here at Danone in the UK and Ireland. So, we're one of 13 regions across Danone globally. So sustainability and social innovation is all about bringing to life Danone's global vision, so the vision of one planet, one health. And that's helping our businesses and our brands along that journey of what that means here in the UK and Ireland. So from a sustainability perspective, that's working on roadmaps towards key areas like a circular economy. So in the UK, we're members of the UK Plastics Pact, committed to 100% recyclable packaging by 2025. So it's working internally and externally with partners like WRAP. Other topics like carbon and our climate journey. We work with the Carbon Trust. And actually this year, our Wexford factory in Ireland was certified as carbon neutral. So really excited about that. And our Evian and Volvic global brands were also certified carbon neutral by the Carbon Trust. So some really exciting steps on that journey. And then also topics like food waste. So once again, working with WRAP and other partners on, for example, their Target Measure Act reduction roadmap. So really exciting topics there. And then I think what's really interesting is that view of one planet, one health that Danone stands for. The health of the planet and the health of people are so interconnected that my role also looks at how we interact with our communities. So most recently, I've been working on our Eat Like a Champ schools programme. It's a children's programme delivered by teachers, a free resource online. And this year we actually adapted it with the British Nutrition Foundation, the British Dietetics Association and Hubbub to involve some sustainable, healthy lifestyle tips. So really helping children to think about the impact that their choices can have. And finally, I also work on our corporate volunteering programme, so helping colleagues to support their local communities. And we've been quite fortunate during COVID that we've managed to adapt it to a virtual option. So that's been really interesting. And I guess finally, I also a personal passion support our businesses on their journey towards B Corp certification. So once again, that's something that kind of encompasses within our role. So quite a broad remit, but a really interesting selection of topics.
Yeah, I definitely remember having written about a few of those things, for sure, and it's been really busy. And you talked about how you were able to adapt some of the social side of things for COVID, but what's it been like working on the environmental stuff internally at this moment in time?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a challenging time for everybody, hasn't it? And a really unusual, unprecedented time. I suppose, like many people, I'm usually based in our office in Chiswick in West London, but for the moment, I'm home based. And Danone have been very supportive, kind of helping us set up our offices and even offering a support fund to colleagues across the region that might be having trouble. It's also been great, kind of the adaptation of kind of health and well-being programs. So in our team, we've really been focusing on things like virtual yoga adaptations, or there's even been like a virtual hacker as well. But as I mentioned, yeah, I guess there are some upsides to working virtually. I've been able to attend more meetings that might have otherwise had a clash. And also, yeah, as I mentioned, this kind of adaptation to virtual volunteering has meant that arguably more people can offer their time to communities and can offer it from kind of the comfort of where they are rather than the need to travel. So yeah, I definitely acknowledge this is a really difficult time, but feel very supported by Danone. So
yeah, there's definitely some pros and some cons. And I wanted to come on to something that I know that a lot of our readers have had to adapt is communications at this time, because it feels like the context change is week by week, and obviously Danone is multinational, so you have that to consider too. But at the same time, I have written a lot of big announcements from the company, so I had a flick through ahead of our call, and in the US, the business has joined the Ellen MacArthur Foundation's Plastic Pact, and at Climate Week it joined the CGF's New Forest Positive Coalition, and in the UK there's also, I understand, a new recycling initiative with TerraCycle. So it'd be good to get some learnings on how to get an announcement and comms right at this moment in time.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a challenging area for sure. I think what's a kind of common thread throughout all of those, and something that would probably be a top tip, is the kind of partnerships aspect. So you'll see that all of those announcements are us in partnership with others or collaboration. And I think that is probably, one of our biggest tips, is that idea that coming together and working as a collective, you can have a greater impact and a greater reach and a greater voice. So as you mentioned, the Ella's TerraCycle partnership. So that actually came about through our B Lab network. So through B Corps, we got in touch with Ella's Kitchen, and there was an idea that we could perhaps think about a consortium approach to how we recycle hard to recycle plastics in the UK. So we founded the Pouch scheme. I guess other partnerships this year, such as with another B Corp, Neighbourly, we, alongside Marks and Spencer's, Lidl, Aldi and others, we helped them to found their Community Action Fund. So that was, again, a chance of lots of big businesses being able to come together and share their collective impact and reach more people and help more people. And I guess, we're kind of always working on partnerships, and that really helps with communication. So, for example, with Hubbub, we supported their Leads by Example campaign, which got amazing coverage for being such an innovative on-the-go recycling campaign. And then more recently, we've supported their Swansea and Edinburgh activations. So I think my tip would be kind of partnering up, and collaborative action can really drive the reach of some of your communications. But another top tip would probably be to not forget or harness the power of your colleagues. So a lot of those activations that I've spoken about are in collaboration with people across our business. And I definitely think, kind of, if you plant the seeds of sustainability and social impact within your business, you'll get your own group of internal ambassadors, and they'll go on and build their own projects. And I'm sure many other people would agree with me when saying some of the proudest communications is like a really authentic LinkedIn post that one of your colleagues posts, because it means that they've truly understood it and brought it to life. So don't forget to harness your internal engagement.
Those are some great tips, and we've had Hubbub on before previously, so if anyone's interested in that, I really recommend going back and taking a look, because Steve and Trewin are just really great to speak to on this topic as well. I hope you agree with me there.
Yeah, definitely, really inspiring and great people to work with.
Great. And then I wanted to come on to that last point you talked about, that sort of that authenticity piece, because when I was looking back at the context of this interview, I also saw that Danone's global CEO signed recently this open letter as part of the Leaders on Purpose coalition, and it's basically calling on governments and businesses to support the purpose first sector, and to just shift to that way of being as we emerge from the pandemic. It'd be great to hear a little bit more about how that's being realised in the UK and what that means for you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, purpose is something that's kind of always been at the heart of Danone. We talk a lot internally about a famous speech that our leader at the time, Antoine Riboud, did in 1972 in Marseille in France. And he really introduced and talked about this idea of a dual project of a social and economic progress. And that's kind of come to life, as I mentioned a bit earlier, in our vision of One Planet, One Health. Kind of the focus of the health of the planet and the health of people are interconnected. So purpose has always been at the heart. I guess how that comes to life a bit more in day-to-day business is we have 9 company goals that are aligned to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And those 9 goals kind of build the framework for our areas of focus It's also how we communicate and how we track and measure progress against those. For example, kind of one way that we hold ourselves accountable to being a purpose-driven organisation is our B Corp certification. And that's actually one of our company goals, that it was by 2030 that all of our global entities would be B Corp certified, but we've actually fast-tracked that to be by 2025. So that's a really important way of us showing how businesses can be a force for good.
Was that decision made recently, the decision to bring that forward?
Yeah, quite recently, and we're kind of well on the way towards that, with over 30% of our turnover already certified. So it's a really exciting, personally really exciting initiative to be involved in, and a very challenging one as well. So
yeah, I can imagine. Like I was going to ask for some tips on avoiding purpose washing and making sure that you're doing more than just talking, but obviously to be certified as B Corp you have to do that, and then you don't only have to prove it once, you have to regularly update and sort of prove yourselves over and over again, right?
exactly, yeah. And I think actually we the B Lab team in the UK did some research saying that consumers and I guess readers of communications, they want to hold corporate businesses accountable. I think it's 72% of consumers in the UK that B Lab interviewed said that they think businesses should have a responsibility for profits, but also for people and the planet. But when it comes to that idea of kind of how you can be authentic in your communications, I think it's trying to help people along the journey. So be clear, try and speak in an understandable language. There's lots of jargon in our industry and lots of acronyms. So yeah, try and be as clear and understandable, and help consumers and readers along that journey with you.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, I think that's all the questions that we have time for this episode, and I think we've covered a lot of ground. So thank you so much for your time and for your insight, Rebecca.
Thank you very much. It was great to be here.
And for everyone at home, just a reminder that you can access all previous episodes of this series on our YouTube channel and on our website, and that we hope to bring you a new episode of Susty Talks at least once a week going forward. So in the meantime, stay safe, stay well, and keep up the Susty Talk. Thank you very much.